Alright, we're talking about black life in Antebellum, Texas. We gotta start with the Comanche Empire. Now, they had a huge political and economic influence on what is Mexico's northern border, present-day Texas. They were committing raids against that northern border for decades. For example, when San Antonio decided that they weren't gonna give them horses in exchange for protection, the Comanche came through, plundered them, took all their bread, multiple times. And so basically, they made Texas really, really weak. On top of them being strong and that no colonial power was stronger than them in the first half of the 1800s, Texas was also sparsely populated. There was not that many people. Basically, Mexico, they opened up their immigration policy in the late 1820s, early 1830s to Americans. They wanted them to immigrate into Texas to make it more dense, hoping that it would protect their northern border from Comanche raids. So you guessed it, a whole bunch of white folks that owned slaves came into Texas and they brought their slaves with them. A lot of these folks from the deep south. So black people, they worked on cotton plantations, sugar plantations, you know, nothing new. It was a smaller farm, probably growing corn, but they also herded cattle. This is the origin story for the black Cowboys, which were actually the majority of the Cowboys. By the time of the Civil War in the 1860s, 70,000 more black people were brought to Texas. A lot of people from Virginia down to Louisiana were afraid that the Confederacy was gonna lose, that slavery was gonna be illegal, and they said, all right, we gotta go to Texas because that's the final frontier for slavery. So they brought all their slaves with them. From the 1830s to the 1860s, East Texas becomes a predominantly black region. It was majority black. In the urban centers, the slaves were known for wearing flamboyant clothes. They were known for talking and disrespecting their masters. They had formed large churches with 300 plus members. And they were on the frontier of slavery, meaning they were pretty close to freedom. So why did so many black people remain enslaved? First of all, it was hella common for black people to run away to Mexico. About 80 miles south of the Rio Grande River were these mountains, and it was a maroon community, meaning black and indigenous people who had escaped a while back. And a lot of black people that were in Texas, they ran away to Mexico regularly. This is one reason they were able to leverage their power. They could wear flamboyant clothes, where they could talk back to their master, where they could actually keep their families together. Because there was a threat that I might not be here tomorrow if you keep acting crazy, slave master. Second of all, if you were trying to go west, you're gonna run to the Comanche Empire. And they didn't discriminate based on who they killed. They saw black and white people as folks that had a similar culture, lived in similar houses, had similar clothes. Y'all both can get killed. And then third, yes, it was slavery, but it was also an epicenter for black life. Think about all the trauma that happens from the internal slave trade, all the families that were separated. You finally have a chance in Texas, where you're on the final frontier of slavery. You can't be sold anywhere else for the most part. This is a chance to actually keep your family intact. So why did people remain enslaved? As always, black antebellum history in Texas was complicated.